I'm a 30-year-old software developer. I make about $4,000 a month, which isn't a fortune, but it's enough. I've been married for 3 years, together with my wife for 6 total. No kids. No real assets. Just a rented house and more debt than savings. I thought I knew her. I thought we were building something together. I was wrong about everything. Before I go any further, drop a comment right now and tell me where you're watching from. I need to know I'm not alone in this. So let me take you back to the night everything fell apart. I play in this recreational soccer league with some guys from work. It's nothing serious, just a way to blow off steam on weekends. My wife would come to every single game. I thought she was being supportive, you know? Cheering me on from the sidelines. But looking back now, I realize she wasn't there for me at all. She was there for the beer. For the attention. For them. After the games, the team would sometimes get together at someone's place to hang out. Drink more, play pool, just typical stuff. This particular night, a few of the guys were planning to meet up at someone's house about an hour away. I told them all after the game that I couldn't make it. I had work early the next morning, and honestly, I just wanted to go home with my wife. Spend some quiet time together. On the drive home, I could feel her texting someone. The glow of her phone screen lit up her face in the darkness. The car smelled like beer and sweat, that post-game mix of exertion and celebration. But there was this tension building between us, thick and suffocating. Then she asked me, "Can I go? Just for a little while?" I looked over at her. "No," I said. "I have work in the morning and I want to be with you tonight." She didn't respond. Just gave me complete silence. The kind of silent treatment that makes the air feel heavy, makes every second stretch out longer than it should. I could hear nothing but the hum of the tires on asphalt and my own breathing. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it yet. When I pulled into our driveway, I saw headlights behind us. A car pulled up right in front of our house. I recognized it immediately. It was my buddy's car. The guy I'd been playing soccer with for 2 years. The guy I trusted. She'd made the decision without me. I got out of my car and walked straight to his window. My heart was pounding, but I kept my voice steady. "I'm not okay with this," I told him. "Leave. Now." He looked uncomfortable, glancing between me and her. "Man, she just wants to hang out for a bit?" I didn't get to finish. I heard my own car door open behind me. I turned and watched my wife walk past me without a single word. She opened the passenger door of his car and got in. Just like that. The door slammed shut, and they drove away. I stood there in my own driveway, watching the red taillights disappear down the street. The cold night air hit my face, but I felt numb. The disrespect was so blatant, so public, that part of me wondered if I was overreacting. Was I being controlling? Was I wrong to feel this angry? That's when I remembered something. We had an old tablet she used to use. It was sitting in a drawer somewhere, probably dead. But I knew it was connected to her messaging accounts, her social media, everything. I went inside and found it. Plugged it in. Watched the screen light up as it powered on. I had no idea what I was about to find. The tablet took a few minutes to boot up completely. I sat on the edge of our bed, staring at the loading screen, my leg bouncing with nervous energy. When it finally connected, I could see everything. Her messages. Her location. She was already at the party, that little blue dot on the map showing me exactly where she was. I told myself I'd just wait up for her. Just make sure she got home safe. That's what a good husband does, right? But as the hours ticked by, that little dot didn't move. Midnight came and went. Then 1 in the morning. Then 2. At 3 in the morning, she still wasn't home. I must have fallen asleep at some point because my alarm woke me at 6. I opened my eyes and there she was, lying next to me in bed. I had no idea when she'd come home. I hadn't heard her come in. Hadn't heard anything. For about 5 seconds, I felt relief. She was home. She was safe. Then the rage hit me. I got up, got ready for work, and for the first time in our entire relationship, I left without kissing her goodbye. I grabbed that tablet and threw it in my briefcase. I needed to know what happened last night. I needed to understand. At work, I went through the motions. Sat through a meeting. Made some phone calls. My hands were shaking the entire time, but I kept it together. Then, after everyone had settled into their morning routines, I pulled out the tablet. A notification lit up the screen. "Buddy is typing." My stomach dropped. I opened the messaging app, and there it was. A conversation happening in real time. The messages were supposed to self-destruct after being read, but the app version on this old tablet must have been outdated. I could see everything. His message appeared first. "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about what we did together." I felt my chest tighten. My vision started to blur at the edges. Her response came through, "I know. I can't either." Then another message from him, "The other guys had fun too." Other guys. Plural. I wanted to stop reading. I wanted to throw the tablet across the room. But I couldn't look away. Then she sent another message, "Send me a video of you. I need to see you right now." And he did. Without hesitation, he sent her an explicit video of himself. I watched it happen in real time. Watched my wife ask for it. Watched him comply immediately. I ran to the bathroom and vomited. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold onto the sink. The fluorescent lights felt too bright, too harsh. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I walked back to my desk in a daze. My boss took one look at me and told me to go home. I must have looked as sick as I felt. But before I left, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I drove home and found her still in bed. It was noon. I stood in the doorway of our bedroom and asked her to come downstairs. My voice was calm. Too calm. She followed me down, wrapped in her bathrobe, looking confused and sleepy. We sat across from each other at the kitchen table. The morning light was streaming through the windows, making everything look normal and domestic. But nothing was normal anymore. "Tell me everything that happened last night," I said. "Every single detail." She rubbed her eyes. "We just drank and played pool. Talked. That's it, I swear." "When did you last talk to Buddy?" "This morning," she said. "Just some messages. Nothing important." I could see her mind working, trying to figure out how much I knew. Calculating. "Would your story change," I asked slowly, "if you knew I watched the entire conversation you had with him this morning?" Her face went white. Then red. Then she exploded into tears. But the first words out of her mouth weren't, "I'm sorry." They were, "Are you leaving me?" I didn't answer. I just sat there, staring at her, waiting. She broke down completely. "I can't really remember clearly," she sobbed. "I was so drunk. But I had sex with Buddy and Marcus. Maybe more guys. I don't know." The room started to spin. I gripped the edge of the table to steady myself. "Was this the first time?" I asked. Her face told me everything before she even spoke. "No," she whispered. "There were other times." "Where?" She couldn't look at me. "Different places. Sometimes after games. Sometimes." "Where?" I repeated. "Here," she finally said. "In our house. One time was while you were upstairs sleeping." I felt something inside me just shatter. Like glass breaking, sharp and irreparable. The idea that this had happened in our home, in our bed, while I slept upstairs completely unaware. I can't even describe that feeling. It was beyond betrayal. Beyond pain. I stood up. My body moved mechanically, on autopilot. "Pack a bag," I said. "You're staying with your family." She was crying hysterically now, begging me not to tell anyone. Promising she'd change. Swearing it was all a mistake. I helped her pack. I actually helped her pack her things. And then I watched her leave. For 2 weeks, I drowned in the worst pain of my life. I could barely eat. Couldn't sleep. Went to work like a zombie and came home to an empty house that felt haunted. Every room reminded me of what she'd done. What they'd done. Then I met with an attorney. That's when everything got worse. "You're in a no-fault divorce state," he explained, shuffling through papers. "As the primary breadwinner, you'll owe spousal support. Approximately $2,000 a month." I stared at him. "For how long?" "Half the length of the marriage. So about a year and a half, minimum. That's $36,000 total." "But she cheated," I said. "Multiple times. With multiple men. In our house." He looked at me with genuine pity. "I understand what she did is horrible. But this is a no-fault state. Her infidelity doesn't factor into the financial settlement." I walked out of that office in a daze. The legal system wasn't going to give me justice. If I wanted to avoid paying her a single cent, I'd have to create my own justice. So I reached out to her. Sent her a text saying I wanted to try therapy. That I wasn't sure I could forgive her, but I wanted to try for us. She responded immediately. Practically ecstatic. "Oh my God, yes. I'll find someone right away. I love you so much. Thank you for giving me this chance." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I typed back, "I love you too." It was the biggest lie I'd ever told. While she searched for a marriage counselor, I went shopping. I bought a small voice-activated recorder, the kind that can run for hours on a single charge. That night, I drove to where she was staying with her parents. Waited until she went inside. Then I crawled under her car and installed the device under the driver's seat. It took less than 2 minutes. Over the next week and a half, I played the part perfectly. Called her. Told her I was working through my emotions. Said all the things she wanted to hear. Every "I love you" made me want to vomit, but I needed her cooperation. The night before our first therapy appointment, I retrieved the recorder. What I heard made me realize she'd never stopped. I sat in my car in a parking lot, headphones in, listening to a phone conversation she'd had with Buddy that afternoon. They were planning to meet up. Laughing together. She was talking about me like I was some pathetic fool. He totally believes we're working things out, she said, giggling. What are you going to do after the divorce waiting period? Buddy asked. Take him for everything I can, she replied. Then we can finally be together openly. I sat there in that parking lot for an hour, just breathing. Just existing. The recorder had given me exactly what I needed. The next day, we met with Dr. Rodriguez for our first couples therapy session. The office smelled like leather and old books. We sat on opposite ends of a couch with a box of tissues between us. Why are you both here today? Dr. Rodriguez asked. I let her tell the story. She left out the graphic details but admitted to cheating. Cried appropriately. Talked about her drinking problem and how she wanted to change. Then Dr. Rodriguez turned to me. How does all of this make you feel about your marriage? I took a deep breath. This was the moment. If I don't say it out loud right now, I began, I'm afraid I never will. There's no coming back from this for me. This marriage is over. The vows were broken. My trust is completely shattered. She started screaming. Crying so hard she couldn't breathe. Dr. Rodriguez spent the rest of the session calming her down and explaining to her why my decision was completely rational. I felt a weight lift off my chest. For the first time in weeks, I could breathe. But then Dr. Rodriguez suggested something unexpected. Individual therapy for both of us. Maybe, years down the road, we could discuss reconciliation. I agreed to everything. It was perfect cover for what came next. Over the following 4 months, I implemented a strategy that probably makes me a bad person. I don't know. I'm past caring about that now. I told her my therapist had suggested we create healing contracts together. Write down our commitments to rebuilding trust. Make everything tangible and real. She loved the idea. Every single week, I had her write out commitments. Handwritten. Signed. Dated. I agree to close our joint savings account so you can manage our finances while I prove my trustworthiness. She signed it without reading the fine print. I agree to remove my name from the apartment lease so we can find a new place together. A fresh start. She signed that too, practically glowing with hope. I agree to transfer the car title to you because we'll get something new together. Sign. Date. Photograph. Every week, I collected another piece of legal documentation. Every week, she thought she was proving her love and commitment. She had no idea she was signing away every right she had to claim anything in the divorce. By month 3, I had everything I needed. Then, during month 4, I retrieved the voice recorder from her car one last time. And I heard them planning another meetup. During her AA meeting that night. Comment below right now. Comment 1 if you think I should have exposed her immediately. Comment 2 if you think I should have played the long game like I did. Because what I did next, a lot of people have strong opinions about. I spent 2 hours setting up a meeting. I texted her asking to meet at the park near where we'd had our first date. I want to talk about our future, I wrote. I also texted Buddy. Man, I think it's time we cleared the air. Can you meet me tonight? They both agreed. Neither one knew the other would be there. I arrived early and parked next to Buddy's truck. When they both pulled up within minutes of each other and saw each other, they froze. You should have seen their faces. I didn't say a word. Just pulled out my phone, connected it to a Bluetooth speaker, and pressed play. Her voice filled the parking lot. That recording from her car. He totally believes we're working things out. I'm going to take him for everything he has, then we can finally be together. The color drained from both their faces. Buddy tried to get in his truck. I'm leaving, he said. If you get in that truck, I said calmly, your mother gets these recordings in her email. So does everyone on the soccer team. Your choice. He froze with his hand on the door handle. I turned to my wife, who was screaming now, crying, incoherent. I pulled an envelope from my jacket and handed it to her. These are divorce papers. You have 6 months to contest them. But if you fight me on anything, spousal support, the 401k, anything at all, everyone knows. Your family. Your friends. Your job. Everyone hears these recordings. Your choice. She signed the acknowledgement of service right there. On the hood of his truck. With shaking hands. I walked away without looking back. 2 days later, she was officially served at her parents' house. Now came the hardest part. 6 months of waiting. 6 months of no contact. 6 months of just surviving. I blocked her on everything. Phone. Social media. All of it. She moved in with her parents, then started bouncing between there and Buddy's place. I heard through mutual friends that their relationship was becoming public. People were starting to ask questions. I told everyone to stop telling me about her unless it affected the divorce. I was trying to move forward. My therapist, Dr. Rodriguez, kept me sane during those months. "How are you feeling today?" he'd ask every week. "Like I'm in purgatory," I'd say. Just waiting for it to be over. The gym became my sanctuary. I'd lift weights until my muscles screamed, until I was too exhausted to think. The empty house at night was still hard, but I was learning to exist in it alone. Then, 3 months into the waiting period, her younger brother texted me. We hadn't spoken since everything happened. "You need to see this," he wrote. It was a screenshot of her Facebook. Her relationship status had changed. She was in a relationship with someone named Jason. From Tennessee. Nobody had ever heard of him. Over the next few days, more screenshots came in from different people. Photos of them together. They looked happy. Disgustingly happy. Then, for weeks after that first photo, the bombshell hit. A courthouse wedding photo. She'd married him. In California. After meeting him in person for the first time that day. They'd met online, talked for a few weeks, and decided to get married. The caption read something about God opening new doors and moving to Tennessee. Her own family didn't attend the wedding. I sat there staring at my phone, trying to process what I was seeing. She married a complete stranger. Someone she'd never met in person before their wedding day. And she was moving across the country with him. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me just felt sick. 3 weeks later, the court-appointed date arrived. The divorce was final. I'd made it. No spousal support. No lawyers. No having to see her ever again. I blocked her number that same day. The day after the divorce finalized, 7 of my closest friends threw me a divorce party. 6 of them had been mutual friends with both of us. They'd chosen me. They all chose me. We posted photos throughout the night. Laughing. Drinking. Celebrating freedom. She saw every single post and blocked everyone involved. One by one. Including her own maid of honor. "I can't believe I ever stood up for her at that wedding," her former maid of honor said to me that night. "I should have seen it sooner." For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe freely. But 6 months later, something happened that brought all the pain rushing back. I was scrolling through Instagram when the algorithm suggested a video to me. "People you may know," it said. It was her mother's account. Newly created. Public. I shouldn't have clicked. But I did. It was a gender reveal video. Her father standing there, eyes covered, while she held a plate in front of him. On the plate was a cookie covered in blue frosting. 3, 2, 1, her voice counted down. "It's a boy." She was pregnant. With that stranger's baby. After knowing him for less than a year total. I sat in my dark bedroom at 2 in the morning, watching that video loop over and over. And I cried. Not because I wanted her back. Not even close. But because I'm 32 years old, and I thought I'd be a father by now. I thought that would be my life. My timeline. I had some really dark days after seeing that video. Days where I didn't get out of bed. Days where I questioned everything. But slowly, something changed. More days went by where I didn't think about her at all. And that's when I knew I was actually healing. During the second year after the divorce, I made a decision that changed everything. I quit my stable job and started my own IT consulting business. It was a massive leap of faith with zero safety net. But I landed my first contract. Then a second one. Both with government organizations. The work was brutal. Long hours. Constant stress. But it was mine. I was building something that belonged only to me. Both contracts got renewed. My income grew from $4,000 a month to $7,000. Steady. Reliable. I felt genuine pride for the first time in years. But there was still one area where I struggled. Trust. After about a year of recovery, I tried online dating. Created profiles. Went on a few dates. 3 or 4 over several months. Every single woman I met was talking to multiple men at once. Playing games. Seeking validation rather than connection. The dates felt hollow. Transactional. One woman asked me, "So do you message a lot of people on these apps?" "No," I said honestly. "When I'm interested in someone, I focus entirely on them." She looked uncomfortable. "Oh, that's pretty intense." I deleted all the apps that night. The relief was immediate. I'm okay being alone. I've learned that being alone is infinitely better than being with the wrong person. Now, 2 years after D-Day, I can honestly say I've survived. My business is thriving. My finances are better than they've ever been. My body is in the best shape it's been in years. Most days, I don't think about her at all. When I do think about her, it's with gratitude. Gratitude that I escaped when I did. Gratitude that I'm not still trapped in that nightmare. I still struggle with trust. I still have that annoying voice in my head telling me I should have a wife and kids by now, that I'm behind everyone else my age. But I'm learning to silence that voice. Because I know something now that I didn't know 2 years ago. I know that I'm stronger than I thought. I know that I can survive anything. And I know that my worth isn't determined by whether someone else sees it. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I'll ever trust someone enough to try again. But I'm okay with that uncertainty now. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have exposed her immediately or played the long game? Comment below. I genuinely want to know. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be sharing more stories of survival and justice. And if you want to hear what eventually happened to Buddy and the rest of the soccer team, let me know in the comments. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well. Stay strong out there.